Welcome back to the channel. Rare Coins All World. Today, we have an exciting topic for you, a coin that might be hiding in your collection, or perhaps you've seen one lying around in your spare change without realizing just how valuable it could be. Yes, I'm talking about the 1965 dime with a mint mark, and it's definitely a coin that you should pay close attention to. You might think a dime from the 1960s is just another old coin, but believe me when I tell you, this particular year has some secrets up its sleeve that make it far more valuable than you might expect. Let's start with a little history lesson. In 1965, the United States faced a significant change in its coinage. The country was experiencing a shortage of silver, and so the U.S. Mint made a bold decision. They started to produce dimes, quarters, and half dollars that were no longer made of silver but rather of a copper-nickel blend. This change was a huge shift in American coinage, and it marked the last year that the standard dime would contain silver. But hold on, because there's more to the story, and this is where things get interesting. You see, most 1965 dimes you come across will look pretty standard. They are made of the copper-nickel alloy, with a D mint mark if they were struck at the Denver Mint. However, the real value of these coins doesn't lie in just the change of metal composition. There's a particular variety of the 1965 dime that's become highly sought after by collectors, and it's all due to a minting error that occurred during production. In 1965, the U.S. Mint was under heavy pressure to strike a lot of coins in a short period of time to meet demand. With such a rush, it's not surprising that some errors slipped through the cracks. One of the most notable mistakes that happened that year is the presence of coins with the wrong metal composition, and these are often referred to as 1965 silver dimes. These dimes were mistakenly struck with silver instead of the new copper-nickel blend. The silver version of the dime was a rarity, and these silver dimes have become worth far more than a standard dime. But here's the catch: while the majority of the 1965 dimes are made from the copper-nickel mixture, finding a true 1965 silver dime can be like striking gold. This error coin is incredibly rare and, when found in good condition, can fetch a serious amount of money. However, these rare silver dimes aren't the only variety you should keep an eye on. Another aspect of the 1965 dime that makes it valuable is the condition in which it survives. We all know that the condition of a coin has a huge impact on its value. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin becomes. If you find a 1965 dime that is in mint condition, which means it has little to no wear or damage, you could be sitting on a coin that is worth far more than the face value of 10 cents. But what really excites collectors about the 1965 dime is the possibility of finding one that has been professionally graded as a high-quality example. Coins in mint state, like MS-65 or higher, can fetch an impressive price at auction or among private collectors. So, if you happen to come across a 1965 dime with the right characteristics, it could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Now, let's get to the big question: just how much can a 1965 dime with a mint mark be worth? Well, the price can vary depending on a few factors, such as the condition of the coin and the rarity of the error. However, there have been examples of 1965 dimes that have sold for as much as $45,000. That's right, $45,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $45,000 for a coin that was once worth just 10 cents. So, how can you tell if your 1965 dime is worth this much? It all comes down to a few key factors. First, look closely at the mint mark on the coin. A D mint mark means it was struck at the Denver Mint, and while this is the more common variety, it's still important to verify. Then, check for any signs of a mint error or differing metal composition. If you suspect your 1965 dime might be a rare silver error coin, make sure to get it graded by a professional coin grader, like PCGS or NGC. Having it professionally evaluated could confirm whether it's worth a small fortune. But even if your 1965 dime doesn't have the silver error or isn't in perfect mint condition, it's still worth checking out, because well-preserved examples of this coin can still bring in a nice amount of cash. Collectors are always on the lookout for coins that are in exceptional condition, so don't be surprised if your standard 1965 dime can fetch a much higher price than the usual dime in circulation. And let's not forget that coin values can fluctuate depending on the market demand and the number of collectors actively seeking certain coins. So, even if you don't have a silver era dime or a perfect condition coin, the 1991 dime may still be worth a lot more than you think. It's always worth holding onto those older coins, because you never know when their value might rise. To wrap up, if you've got a 1965 dime with a mint mark, don't just pass it off as spare change. Take a closer look, check the condition, and consider getting it graded. You might have a rare piece of American coinage on your hands. Who knows, it could be worth $45,000, that's $45,000, if it's the right variety, with the right characteristics, and in the right condition. So, keep your eyes peeled, and keep on collecting, because treasure could be just a dime away. Thanks for watching, everyone. Today, we're about to talk about a coin that you might overlook every day, but this little gem could be worth far more than you might expect. It's the 1967 United States 1 dime, and while it might look like just another dime to the untrained eye, its value could actually be sky high. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at what a simple 1967 dime could be worth in today's market. Let's start by taking a step back in time to 1967. This was an exciting and tumultuous year in U.S. history. The Vietnam War was ongoing, and protests were growing across the country. The civil rights movement was making strides, and the U.S. was at the peak of social and political change. Coinage at this time had also seen some significant shifts, and 1967 was a key year in that regard. In fact, it marked a pivotal moment in U.S. coin history because it was the last year that dimes, quarters, and half dollars were still produced with a substantial amount of silver. Starting in 1965, due to rising silver prices, the U.S. Mint began switching its coinage from silver to a copper-nickel alloy. But in 1967, some dimes were still made with a mix of silver and copper. The 1967 dime has the familiar design of Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse, which was introduced in 1946, just after Roosevelt's death. His image on the dime is a tribute to his legacy, and it's been one of the most recognized depictions of a U.S. president ever minted. On the reverse side, you'll find the traditional design featuring a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. This classic design is instantly recognizable and has remained on the dime for decades. Now, let's get into what really makes the 1967 dime stand out to collectors. First, the composition is key. As we mentioned, this was one of the last years for dimes that contained silver, though only 40% of the coin's weight is silver, the rest is copper. This gives the 1967 dime a special place in the world of coin collecting, particularly for those interested in coins that contain precious metals. Though the mint switched to a copper-nickel alloy the very next year, these 1967 dimes remain highly collectible due to their unique silver content, but don't be fooled into thinking that all 1967 dimes are worth a fortune. While the silver content does add value, it's the condition of the coin, its rarity, and any potential minting errors that really make a difference. If you've ever come across a 1967 dime in your change, it probably wasn't in perfect condition. Dimes, being one of the most circulated coins, often show signs of wear, scratches, faded designs, and damage from years of use. However, if you happen to have a 1967 dime that is in pristine, uncirculated condition, you're looking at something much more valuable. Coins in excellent condition, with sharp, clean details, tend to fetch a premium among collectors. This is because a coin in such remarkable condition is considered rare, given the fact that so many of these dimes have been worn down through daily circulation. Here's where things get even more exciting: minting errors. Minting errors are highly coveted by coin collectors because they make a coin one of a kind. Some 1967 dimes have been discovered with mistakes during the minting process, such as off-center strikes, double strikes, or even misaligned dies. These errors make the coins unique, and collectors are always on the lookout for them. If you have a 1967 dime with a minting error, you could be holding a true treasure, but, you may be wondering, what's the actual value of a 1967 dime? If you have a standard 1967 dime that's in decent condition, it will likely be worth only its face value or just slightly more due to its silver content. However, if you have one that is in uncirculated condition, or if you have a dime with a rare minting error, the value of your coin could skyrocket. Coins with errors, especially those with unique characteristics like double strikes or significant misprints, are in high demand, and prices can reach into the thousands of dollars. Are you ready for the most jaw-dropping part? If you're lucky enough to own a 1967 dime in exceptional condition, or one with a rare minting error, it could be worth as much as $40,000. Yes, that's right, $40,000. For a coin that started its life as a humble dime worth only 10 cents, this is a remarkable leap in value. Of course, it's important to note that only the most pristine examples or those with significant errors will fetch this price, but it's an incredible reminder of how a simple coin can appreciate in value over time. So, what should you do if you come across a 1967 dime? Start by inspecting it closely. Look at the condition. Does it show signs of heavy wear, or does it appear almost brand new? Check for any minting errors, such as double strikes or misalignments. If you find something unusual or in excellent condition, don't hesitate to have it appraised by a professional. You could be sitting on a valuable piece of US history that could be worth a small fortune. Thank you for watching today's video. Today, we're going to take a closer look at a coin you've probably come across in your pocket change without giving it much thought, the 1974 United States 1 dime. But hold on, don't rush off just yet. This seemingly ordinary dime could be worth a small fortune, and we're about to show you why. Let's go back to 1974. It was an important year in US history. The country was dealing with significant political events, including the Watergate scandal, which eventually led to President Richard Nixon's resignation. The economy was facing challenges, with inflation and a recession affecting the daily lives of many Americans. However, in the world of coinage, 1974 was significant for another reason. It was a year that saw the continuation of the standard design for the dime, featuring President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse and the traditional torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse. The design of the 1974 dime is iconic. On the front, you'll find a portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt, which has graced the dime since 1946. Roosevelt's image on the coin is a tribute to his leadership and legacy, particularly his efforts in guiding the nation through the Great Depression and World War II. The reverse features the Torch of Liberty, flanked by an olive branch on the left and an oak branch on the right. These symbols stand for freedom, peace, and strength, and they've remained unchanged since the dime's design was introduced in 1946. Now, the most important factor we need to discuss about the 1974 dime is its composition. Like all dimes minted after 1964, the 1974 dime is made of a copper-nickel clad, meaning it contains no silver. This was a shift from the pre-1965 dimes, which were 90% silver. The change in composition was a direct response to rising silver prices, and while it made the coins less valuable in terms of precious metal content, it didn't diminish their historical and collector value. So, what makes the 1974 dime so special? The key to its value lies in its rarity and condition. While many 1974 dimes were produced and circulated, not all of them have survived in great shape. In fact, most dimes from this year show signs of wear and aging due to their widespread use in everyday transactions. But for collectors, coins that are in excellent condition, with sharp details and minimal signs of wear, are highly sought after. When it comes to rare coins, condition is everything. If you happen to find a 1974 dime that's in mint or uncirculated condition, meaning it has never been used in circulation or has been carefully preserved, then you may have something truly valuable on your hands. These coins can be worth far more than their face value, which is just 10 cents. The value of a well-preserved 1974 dime can range from a few dollars to hundreds of dollars, depending on its condition and demand in the market. But here's where it gets even more exciting. Some 1974 dimes are worth even more due to minting errors. Errors that occur during the minting process, like double strikes, misprints, or off-center strikes, are highly prized by collectors. These errors make the coin unique, and because only a small number of coins with these types of mistakes are ever released into circulation, they can fetch a pretty penny at auction. If you're lucky enough to have a 1974 dime with an error, then you could be sitting on something very valuable. These error coins are not just interesting pieces of history, they're highly sought after by serious collectors, and they can increase the coin's value exponentially. Now, you're probably wondering, what's the actual value of a 1974 dime? Well, the value varies widely depending on the coin's condition, the presence of any minting errors, and how much demand there is in the market at any given time. If you have a regular 1974 dime in good condition, it might be worth only a few dollars above its face value due to its copper-nickel composition. But if you have one in near-mint condition or with a rare minting error, your coin could be worth a lot more, and here's the moment we've all been waiting for, the real jaw-dropper. If you have an exceptionally rare 1974 dime, in mint condition or with a valuable error, it could be worth as much as $47,000, yes, you heard that correctly, $47,000 for a single dime. It's incredible to think that such a small and seemingly ordinary coin could have such an enormous value. Of course, this is reserved for the rarest examples, such as those with minting errors or ones that have been preserved in pristine condition, but it's a reminder of how much value can be hidden in your spare change. So, what should you do if you find a 1974 dime? Take a moment to inspect it closely. Check the condition. Is it heavily worn, or does it look almost brand new? Look for any signs of minting errors, such as off-center strikes or other unusual characteristics. If you're not sure, don't hesitate to have the coin appraised by a professional numismatist. You might just have a rare treasure in your hands. That's it for today's deep dive into the 1974 United States $1 dime. Today, we have something truly exciting to share with you. If you've ever wondered if that little dime you found in your pocket change could be worth more than just 10 cents, then you're in for a surprise. We're diving into the fascinating world of the 1977 United States $1 dime, and you won't believe just how valuable this coin can be under the right circumstances. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be looking at your change in a whole new light. Let's set the stage. It's 1977. The United States was experiencing some interesting moments in its history. The country was in the midst of the post-Vietnam era, adjusting to the new political landscape and economic shifts. It was also a time of transition in the world of U.S. coinage. The 1977 dime was part of the ongoing series that had featured President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse since 1946. But just because a coin is part of a long-running series doesn't mean it's not special. It might just surprise you with how much it could be worth. The design of the 1977 dime is one of the most enduring in U.S. coinage. On the front, you'll find Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, whose image has been featured on the dime since shortly after his death in 1945. Roosevelt is remembered for his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, and his likeness on this coin is a lasting tribute to his legacy. The reverse side of the coin is just as iconic, featuring a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength. Now, let's talk about the composition of the 1977 dime. Like most dimes minted after 1964, the 1977 version is made from a copper-nickel alloy, meaning it doesn't contain any silver. The shift from silver to a copper-nickel mix occurred in 1965 due to rising silver prices. Although this composition makes the coin less valuable in terms of the metal content itself, it doesn't mean it's not valuable to collectors, far from it. So, what makes the 1977 dime worth more than just a few cents? The real value of this coin is determined by its rarity and condition. While millions of these dimes were produced and circulated, not all of them have stood the test of time. Most 1977 dimes you'll come across will show signs of wear and tear, as they were used in everyday transactions. However, the key to determining a coin's value lies in its condition. If you happen to come across a 1977 dime in pristine, uncirculated condition, you could have a valuable piece of history. When it comes to coin collecting, condition is everything. Coins that have been kept in excellent condition, free from scratches, dings, and other signs of wear, are highly sought after. A 1977 dime that looks like it was just minted yesterday can fetch a significant premium over its face value. Coins in mint or near mint condition are considered rare because they're much harder to find than the heavily circulated coins. The better the condition, the higher the value, but that's not all. Some 1977 dimes have an added layer of intrigue: minting errors. These rare mistakes can dramatically increase the value of a coin. Common minting errors include things like double strikes, off-center strikes, and die cracks. These unique characteristics make the coin one of a kind, and collectors will pay top dollar for an error coin. Imagine stumbling upon a 1977 dime that has an error. Not only would it be a cool piece of history, but it could also be worth a lot more than you'd ever expect. So, just how much could a 1977 dime be worth? The value can vary depending on several factors, such as the condition of the coin, whether it has a minting error, and the current demand among collectors. In general, a well-preserved 1977 dime in uncirculated condition can be worth much more than its face value. However, for those lucky enough to find a 1977 dime with a minting error or one in exceptional condition, the value can rise significantly. And now, for the most exciting part. If you have a 1977 dime in outstanding condition or one with a rare minting error, it could be worth as much as $49,000. Yes, you heard that right, $49,000. It's unbelievable to think that a simple dime could hold such a significant value. Of course, only the most pristine examples or those with unique minting errors will fetch this kind of money, but it's a reminder of just how valuable even the most ordinary-looking coins can be when they have the right characteristics. So, the next time you come across a 1977 dime, take a moment to really look at it. Is it in great condition? Does it have any unique features or minting errors? You never know, what may seem like just another dime could actually be a rare treasure. If you think you might have a valuable coin, it's always a good idea to get it appraised by a professional numismatist. They can help you determine its true value and give you the peace of mind that comes with knowing you're holding something special. Thank you for watching today's video. Today's video is definitely for you. We're about to explore a coin that's often overlooked in the world of American numismatics, but with the right circumstances, it can be worth a small fortune. Yes, we're talking about the 1991 United States 1 dime. It may seem like just another dime, but trust me, there's a lot more to this little coin than meets the eye. Let's rewind to 1991. It was a pivotal year in both American history and the world of U.S. coinage. The U.S. economy was coming out of a recession, and the country was experiencing a period of relative stability. On the global stage, the Cold War was nearing its end, and major political changes were taking place worldwide. In the world of coinage, however, the design of the dime had remained largely unchanged for decades. This was a time when Franklin D. Roosevelt's image still graced the obverse of the dime, a tribute to his leadership during some of the most challenging years in U.S. history. Roosevelt's portrait has been on the dime since 1946, and it remains one of the most iconic and enduring images in American coinage. On the reverse of the 1991 dime, you'll find a depiction of a torch flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch. These symbols represent liberty, peace, and strength. The design is simple yet powerful, capturing the essence of the values that the United States holds dear, but the real intrigue behind the 1991 dime lies not just in its design, but in its rarity and potential value. While millions of these dimes were minted, not all of them have survived in pristine condition. In fact, many of the 1991 dimes you'll come across will have the usual signs of wear from being in circulation for years. However, for collectors, finding a well-preserved dime from this year is incredibly exciting. If you happen to come across one that is in mint or near mint condition, you could be holding onto a coin that's worth much more than its face value of 10 cents. Why is condition so important? Well, in the world of numismatics, the value of a coin is heavily influenced by how well it has been preserved. Coins that have been kept in excellent condition, without scratches, dings, or discoloration, are much more valuable to collectors. A 1991 dime that looks like it was just minted yesterday, with sharp details and minimal signs of wear, can fetch a much higher price on the market. But wait, it gets even better. Some 1991 dimes have become even more valuable due to minting errors. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the production of a coin. These errors could include things like double strikes, misprints, or coins that are struck off-center. Minting errors are incredibly rare, which makes them highly desirable to collectors. A dime with a minting error, especially one that's clearly visible, could be worth significantly more than a regular, well-preserved dime. So, what is the actual value of a 1991 dime? Well, if you have a standard 1991 dime in excellent condition, it might be worth a bit more than its face value, perhaps a few dollars or so. However, if you have one with a minting error, or a dime that has been carefully preserved and remains in pristine condition, the value can increase substantially. A collector's market is always fluctuating, and rarer coins are always in high demand. Here's the part that will truly blow your mind. If you're fortunate enough to own a 1991 dime that's in perfect, uncirculated condition, or better yet, one that has a minting error, you could be sitting on a coin worth as much as $55,000. That's right, $55,000 for a single dime. It's hard to believe that something so small and unassuming could have such a staggering value, but that's the magic of coin collecting. The rarity of the coin, its condition, and any minting errors can make all the difference when it comes to determining how much it's worth. So, if you happen to have a 1991 dime in your collection or come across one in your pocket change, make sure to take a good look at it. Is it in excellent condition? Does it show any signs of a minting error, like an off-center strike or a double image? You could have a coin that's far more valuable than you think. Remember, if you find one of these coins in exceptional condition or with a rare minting error, it's a good idea to have it appraised by a professional numismatist. They can help you determine exactly how much it's worth and guide you on the best way to preserve and sell your valuable find. Thanks for joining us today as we took a closer look at the 1991 United States 1 dime. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. You never know, you might just find a coin worth a small fortune hiding in your change jar. Happy collecting, and we'll see you next time.